everyone, welcome to Deep Techno Elite. I am Deepmala Vakode and I am super excited to start this session on Python. Python is a programming language that is easy to learn, which is why many coders choose it as their first language. You can use it for anything from analyzing data to creating games. Python has also become incredibly popular in the scientific community because scientists use it to calculate complicated equations and analyze data. So let's get started with subscribing the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. So we begin with an introduction to the Python language with its key features, architecture and applications, with the answers to the questions like why we choose Python and what can we do with Python. So first of all, let's see what is Python. Python is an easy to learn, powerful programming language. It has efficient high-level data structure and a simple but effective approach to the object-oriented programming. Python's elegant syntax and dynamic typing together with its interpreted nature make it an ideal language for scripting and rapid application development in many areas on most platforms. The Python interpreters and the extensive standard libraries are freely available in source or binary form for all major platforms and freely distributed. Python is relatively simple, so it's easy to learn since it requires a unique syntax that focuses on reliability. Developers can read and translate Python code much easier than other languages. In turn, this reduces the cost of program maintenance and development because it allows teams to work collaboratively without significant language and experience barriers. Python increases productivity since there is no compilation step. The edit, test, debug cycle is incredibly fast. Debugging Python program is easy. A bug or a bad input will never cause a segmentation fault. Instead, when the interpreter discovers an error, it raises an exception. When the program doesn't catch the exception, the interpreter prints a stack track. A source-level debugger allows inspection of local and global variables, evaluations of arbitrary expressions, setting breakpoint, stepping through the code a line at a time, and so on. The debugger is written in a Python itself, testifying the Python's introspective power. On the other hand, often the quickest way to debug a program is to add a few print statements to a source. The fast edit test debug cycle makes this simple approach very effective. Additionally, Python supports the use of modules and packages, which means that programs can be designed in a modular style and code can be reused across a variety of projects. Also, Python is a programming language supports several programming paradigms including object-oriented programming. Python includes thousands of third-party modules available in the Python Packages Index. Python Packages Index provides a popular standard for different expertise like Django for web development and NumPy, Pandas and Matplotlib for data science. So, here we have seen what is Python. Now, let's take a look at the features of Python. Python provides many useful features which make it popular and valuable from other programming languages. It supports object-oriented programming, procedural programming approaches, and provides dynamical memory allocations. So, I'm just going to discuss several features of Python. So, the first one is easy to learn and use. Python is very easy to learn and understand as compared to other programming languages. Its syntax is straightforward and much the same as the English language. Python can perform a complex task using few lines of code. The next feature that Python has is Python is an interpreted language. It means the Python program is executed one line at a time. The advantage of being interpreted language, it makes debugging easy and portable. The next awesome feature is Python can run equally on different platforms such as Windows, Linux, Unix, etc. So we can say that the Python is a portable language. It enables programmers to develop the applications for several computing platforms by writing a program only once. The next awesome feature that Python has is it's open source and freely available for everyone. So you can get it to know every aspect of it if you want. Also, it has a large community across the world that is dedicatedly working towards make a new Python modules and functions. Object-oriented programming is one of the features of Python language. Python supports object-oriented language and concepts of classes and objects come into existence. Also, it supports inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation. The object-oriented procedure helps to programmer to write reusable code and develop applications in less code. Next feature is Python is an extensible language. If needed, you can write some of your Python code in other language like C or C++. This makes Python an extensible language, meaning that it can be extended to other language. The next feature is embeddable. We just saw that we can put code into other languages in our Python source code. However, it is also possible to put our Python code in a source code in a different language like C++. Now let's have a look at the next feature. Python provides you with a large standard library that you can use, so you don't have to write your own code for every single thing. Next awesome feature is GUI programming support, that is graphical user interface. A software is not user friendly until its GUI is made. Python offers various libraries for making graphical user interface for your applications. You can use Tkinter, WXPython, or Jython. Next, Python is dynamically typed. This means that the type for a value is decided at runtime. This is why we don't need to specify the type of data while declaring it. So, here we have discussed about the features of Python programming language. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Python applications. Python is the most versatile programming language and it has applications in various domains. So, let's check out them. So the first real-world application of Python is data science and visualization. Python is the most popular language in data science. Currently, every job makes use of data and depends on it to drive their operations. Python provides many libraries and frameworks such as PyBrain, NumPy, SymPy, PyMySQL, Pandas, and so on. Python also handles statistical, tabular, and matrix data and also visualize it with libraries like Matplotlib and Seaborn. Data science people are heavily dependent on Python because of its advantages like simplicity, great community, and capability to compute huge calculations with ease. Panda is the most popular and powerful library for data manipulations and data analysis. Python is a good choice for rapid development of web applications. Python provides many useful frameworks like Django, Pyramid, and Flask. Python is used on the server-side web development. You can use Python to interact with the databases and build REST API services. Python is also used in the development of interactive games. There are libraries such as PySoy, which is a 3D game engine supporting Python 3, Pygame, which provides a functionality and libraries for game development. Next one is artificial intelligence. Without any dispute, artificial intelligence is going to lead the future IT. Python's libraries such as Keras and TensorFlows enable machine learning functionality. Also, OpenCV, that is open source computer vision library, are used for building intelligence systems. Python is a popular language in machine learning as it can be used to build algorithms using statistics to allow computers to perform different actions. Cool stuffs like finding fingerprint identification, predicting stocks, and spam detection can all be achieved with machine learning. Machine learning typically implements an algorithm that automatically detects a pattern in the given input. The next one is computer graphics. Python code can be employed in a small, large, online or offline projects. It is used to develop GUI and desktop applications. Its Tkinter library enables simple and rapid application development. This programming language is also used in game development, where the logic is written using a module Pygame, which can also run on Android devices. Scientific and mathematical computing is the era of artificial intelligence, where the machine can perform the task the same as the human. Python language is the most suitable language for artificial intelligence or machine learning. It consists of many scientific and mathematical libraries, which makes easy to solve complex calculations. Implementing machine learning algorithms requires complex mathematical calculations. Python has many libraries for scientific and numeric such as NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, etc. Python is the most useful in quantitative finance solutions to analyze and process large financial and quantitative data or big data set. Financial industries are using Python to solve quantitative problems for pricing, trade management, and risk management. Also, Python is an extremely useful programming language for cybersecurity because it performs a multitude of cybersecurity functions, including malware analysis, scanning, and penetration testing tasks. Python also finds a unique use case in image processing and graphic design applications. Python contains many libraries that are used to work with the images. The image can be manipulated according to our requirements. Python is globally used to design and build 2D imaging software. Also, Python is used in several 3D animation packages such as Blender, Maya, Cinema 4D, to name a few. Now we know Python is everywhere. Python plays an essential role in the development of these applications. Now let's go ahead and let's see some famous applications built with Python. There are thousands of Python websites on the internet. Python is a powerful programming language created by Guido van Rossum. Many of today's most successful tech companies are choosing Python for the backend of their websites. Now let's take a look at the famous website built using Python. So the first one is Google. Google is the most widely used search engine in the world. Second is Netflix. Netflix is one of the biggest video streaming services across the globe. The next one is Uber. Uber is a global car hail and ride sharing service provider. Next is Pinterest. Pinterest is an image-based social media network that enables its user to discover and save information on the World Wide Web in the form of images, GIF, and short videos. The next famous application is Instagram. Instagram is the world's biggest online photo sharing app, uses Python on its backend. The next famous application built with the Python is Dropbox. Dropbox is a file hosting service that offers the option of cloud storage, file synchronization, personal cloud, and client software. The next famous application is Reddit. Reddit is a social news aggregator, web content rating, and discussion platform. Another famous application built with Python is Spotify. Spotify is the music streaming service that gives access to millions of songs to the listeners globally. The next application is Facebook. Facebook production engineers are extremely keen on Python. And the next one is Yahoo Group, a comprehensive public archive of internet mailing list that was originally implemented in pure Python. Python is not only popular with developers, many top-tier companies bet on Python as well. Python is so versatile that it is used by people from various disciplines and for a variety of tasks such as data analysis, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and automation. With Python, we can also build web, mobile, desktop applications as well. So let's take a look at the list of companies that uses Python. Python is widely used across financial institutions. For example, Apple uses Python. Government agencies rely on Python, such as NASA uses Python extensively and open sources much of their software. Graphic industries Light and Magic uses Python in the production of their effects. Walt Disney Feature Animation is also using Python to add scriptability to their animation production system. Many big businesses rely on Python for their software. For example, IBM is using Python to create the business practice logic for factory tools control applications. Now, we have discussed about what is Python, features that Python provides. Then we have discussed about the Python applications also. We have seen famous applications built with Python as well as the big companies that rely on Python. Now let's see, what do Python programmers need to make their life easier? And the answer is frameworks, right? Python frameworks offer a well-defined structure for app development. Since they can automate the implementation of some standard solutions, they not only reduce the development time but also allows developer to focus on the core application logic. That means Python makes the job of developer much easier. So let's take a look at the types of Python frameworks. Essentially, Python frameworks are categorized into three types: full stack framework, micro framework, and asynchronous framework. So let's understand them first. So what is full stack framework? The full stack framework gives full support to developers, including basic components like form generation, form validation, and template layouts. They also support the development of databases and backend services. Now let's see, what is micro framework. Micro frameworks are lightweight, minimalistic web application frameworks. They have limited functionalities and features. They lack many additional functionalities and features like database abstraction layer, form validation, web template engine, authentication functionality, authorization, input validation, and input sanitation. Next type of Python framework is asynchronous framework. The asynchronous framework is the latest to join the Python framework bandwagon. It is a unique framework that lets developer handle and manage a large set of concurrent connections. Now let's take a look at the most popular high-level frameworks. So the first full-stack framework is Django. Django makes it easier to build better web applications more quickly and with less code. Django is a high-level Python web framework that encourages rapid development and clean, pragmatic design. It lets you build high-performing, elegant web applications quickly. It provides inherent support for various databases such as Oracle Database, MySQL, and so on. Next full-stack framework is Cubic Web. Cubic Web is an open-source, semantic, and free Python web framework. These frameworks provide an effective way for developers in building web applications reusing the components called cubes. This is considered one of the best solutions in building semantic web app development, which promotes efficiency, reusability, and quality. The next full stack framework is Gitto. Gitto is a framework based on the model, view, and controllers. It separates model, view, and controller elements in order to ensure that the web designers, web developer, and system administrator can perform their functions independently and efficiently. Gitto includes controllers modules that allows applications to be built on the top of the web. Next full stack framework is Pylon. Pylon's framework is an open source Python based framework that focuses on the rapid development of the applications. The framework is designed by incorporating some of the best elements and properties of languages including Perl, Python, and Ruby. Pyramid is another leading Python framework. The most desirable aspect of the Pyramid is the ability to work equally well with small as well as full-scale applications. Moreover, there is a multitude of resources available to extend its ability as per the requirements. TurboGear is also one of the full-stack web application framework. It provides an effective platform for developers to quickly develop data-driven web applications. TurboGears come with intelligible templating. Web2Py is a free open-source full-stack development framework in Python, which enables the client to create things rapidly. It is a cross-stage framework that supports all well-known working frameworks. This framework rearranges the web application development process through a web server, SQL databases, and an online interface. Now, let's have a look at the micro frameworks. Bottle is an easy to use, lightweight micro framework. generally used to build small web applications. It creates a single source file of every project or application. It does not include any dependencies. Instead, it consists of only one Python standard library, and also it distributes as a single file module. One of the key aspects regarding this framework is that it allows developers to work closer to the hardware. Next, we have CherryPy. CherryPy is a well-known open source and minimalist framework that mainly uses the object-oriented paradigm to develop web applications in a short period of time. Next micro framework is Dash. This is the best open source micro framework that is mainly used to develop and build analytical web-based applications. It is specially an ideal framework for data scientists who have no idea about the web development process. Applications of Dash are similar to web servers that communicate with JSON packets through HTTP requests and also used to run the Flask. Dash applications are mobile ready and cross-platforms because they can be rendered in the web server and can also be deployed in the server. Falcon is another widely used Python framework. Unlike other Python frameworks that require loading a lot of dependencies for building HTTP APIs, Falcon allows developers to build a cleaner design, the enable HTTP and REST architectures. The next micro framework is Flask. Flask is available under the BSD license. It was inspired by the Sinatra Ruby framework. The main idea behind Flask is to help build a solid web application foundation. From there, you can use any extension you might need. Flask's lightweight and modular design makes it easily adaptable to developers' needs. Hug is a Python 3 API development framework. It's crafted to allow software engineers to develop an API once and then reuse it whenever needed. The Hug framework simplifies API development by offering various interfaces. That's the main reason why this framework is called one of the fastest in Python 3. ToadPath is a model-driven and flexible Python WSGI framework, and it is mainly designed for executing more number of use cases. Moreover, it takes responsibility for answer this set applications programming, which includes common Python data structure included into RESTful web services. The microframework Panic is an object-oriented microframework believed to be the fastest for building JSON-based APIs. The small standalone and optimized for JSON-based APIs framework is able to hold its ground well among big players. Now let's take a look at the asynchronous frameworks. The AIO HTTP is an asynchronous Python framework that mainly relies on Python 3.5 features. AIO HTTP acts as a client-side framework. Therefore, it is called an asynchronous framework. One of the advantages of this is that it supports both server WebSocket and client WebSocket without using callback hell. Crawler is similar to AIO HTTP. It is based on connecting and express frameworks for Node.js, object relational mapping, and templating. The requests in the Growler are not handled in the framework, but they are handled by passing them through middleware technology. Sanic is an easy, open source, and simple Python framework. This framework is similar to Flask in functions, but it is much faster comparatively. It was specially designed for quick HTTP response with the help of asynchronous request handlers. Tornado is one of the best web framework of Python programming language. This framework provides some features which are essential to any kind of application that can be developed with it, such as database support, URL handling, HTML templates, etc. So here we have seen the Python frameworks. Now let's see why we learn Python. That's a very common question. As we have seen, Python is a general purpose high-level programming language and it is one of the most popular language. It's a server-side language, which means it runs on the server and is responsible for processing the logic behind user inputs, interacting with databases and other servers. So let's see the reasons why you should learn Python. Python has a simple syntax that makes it suitable for learning programming as first language. Python's uses across many industries and applications. It's no wonder Python is the fastest growing programming language. The next reason is Python is used across diverse fields from web and game development to machine learning. Python also used in artificial intelligence, scientific computing, and academic research. Another popular reason to learn Python is it is awesomely open source, so you can get it to know every aspect of it if you want. Next, graphical user interface can be made using Python. It supports GUI programming. The next reason is Python is a portable language, meaning you can run a Python program on different operating systems. Also, Python contains a large standard library so that you don't have to write code for everything. Python programmers are one of the most highly paid developers, especially in the field of data science, web development, and machine learning. There is a lot of demand for Python developers in the IT industries, so you won't have any trouble finding Python jobs in the market. Also, Python supports all operating systems. Let's assume you have written a Python code for your Windows machine. Now, if you want to run it on a Mac, you don't need to make changes to it for the same. In other words, you can take one code and run it on any machine. There is no need to write different code for a different machine. Python can work with other programming languages. Now, let's take a look at the major Python implementations. Python is the most widely accepted implementation of Python. It is written in the language C and is an interpreter. Jython is a Python implementation written in Java. A Jython program can import any Java class. It compiles to Java bytecode. The next one is IronPython. IronPython is implemented in C#. It can function as an extensibility layer to application frameworks written in a .NET language. Next is Brython. Brython stands for Browser Python. It is an implementation of Python that runs in the browser. Next is RubyPython. It acts as a bridge between the Python and Ruby interpreters. It marshals data between Python and Ruby virtual machine. The next one is PyPy. Interestingly to know how PyPy is Python implementation in Python. This makes it faster and easier to experiment with the standard implementations in Python. Now let's have a look at the cool things that we can do with Python. As Python is an object-oriented language, so we will be able to use it for machine learning, algorithms and analysis, as well as big data research and analytics. When it comes to the web development, it's a great option. Web frameworks that are based on Python like Django and Flask have recently become very popular for web development. These web frameworks help you to create server-side code in Python. Further, Python standard library and web frameworks support several internet protocols like HTML, XML, JSON, email processing, and many more. Okay, next, Python is widely used in scientific and numeric computing. Data analytics basically falls under scientific and numeric computing. With Python, it is easy for data scientists to create visualization of their data. Python contains powerful libraries for visualization including Matplotlib and Seaborn. Panda is the most powerful and popular library for data manipulation and data analysis. Matplotlib is an amazing Python library embedded with a full 2D support but limited 3D graphics support. It enables data scientists to create data bars, chart, plot, histogram, etc. within a few lines of code. Seaborn is a Python library that can be used to create informative and visually appealing statistical graphical data. It provides various features including color palettes, built-in theme, tools and functions that enable data scientists to extract, analyze, synthesize, and format the complex data into simple and easy understandable visualization. So there is a lot going on with the Python within data science. Next is machine learning. As we have discussed, cool stuff like finding fingerprint identification, predicting stock, and spam detection can all be achieved with machine learning. Machine learning typically implements an algorithm that automatically detects a pattern in a given input. Recommendation systems like YouTube, Amazon, and Netflix. Face recognition and voice recognition can also be done with machine learning. Now let's understand why Python is popular for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Artificial intelligence and machine learning areas involve the gathering, analyzing, and processing a huge amount of data on a daily basis. Most artificial intelligence and machine learning professionals look for the language that can be easy to learn and understand. So they mostly prefer the Python language. Python syntax resembles the everyday English language, meaning artificial intelligence and machine learning scientists can work with complex systems easily. So we have discussed about Python language and we also took a brief look at its features. We then discussed the Python applications. Also we have seen famous applications built with Python. Moreover, we have learned about Python frameworks and its flavors. Furthermore, if you have any queries, feel free to ask in the comment section. Well, that's all for today's session. To learn more, subscribe the channel and hit the bell to receive the notification. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and comment below. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.